So what happens if the president and the vice president gets killed?
Bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
During the first hour, if the president dies or becomes incapacitated, the Secret Service is going to immediately take control of the situation, securing the president and the White House. You're going to have Chief of Staff and the National Security Advisor. They're going to instantly be notified, and it won't be long until the vice president is notified and then moved into hiding and protection, which will kick in the government's emergency communication system. And within the first few hours or so, the vice president will then be sworn into office as the new president of the United States. So while the White House is preparing a public announcement confirming the presidential transition, you're gonna have the military and the national security system both notified. So things are clear and uninterrupted. During all this, you already know the stock market, that's gonna go down. It's gonna react because everybody's uncertain about what's going on. As soon as the vice president is sworn in, everything starts moving back accordingly. So while they inform global leaders about this whole situation, they're gonna temporarily keep the cabinet in place to make sure things continue to plan, things go right. But that's if the president is killed. What if the vice president gets killed too? What if they both get killed in the same strike? And this is where I start to wonder, because then things gonna take a real turn. So while the government tries to get everything back in order, make sure the whole country doesn't fall, you're gonna have a whole line of successors who's ready to take place of the president. Here goes president, vice president. If they're both killed, then you get the Speaker of the House. After that, you're gonna keep going down the line. You got President pro tempore of the Senate. And if those two are down too, then you got Secretary of State, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Defense. You got the Attorney General. You got Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of Health and Humane Services, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Then you got Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Education, and Secretary of Veteran Affairs, and finally Secretary of Homeland Security. So you got about 18 possible successors. So they got this shit down packed to make sure this country don't fall. Make sure it don't fall, make sure it don't pause, none of that. It's gonna keep on riding. So during all this crisis, during all this chaos, the system is designed to do the total opposite. With all this being said, the US has a built-in chain command that activates instantly. No vote, no delay. No one votes for the next president. No, they just get it going. All right, whoever's next up, you finish this term up. So in the end, you're gonna have a new president sworn into office within hours. Because in a crisis like this, the goal isn't to just respond, it's to keep the country above water and keep moving forward.
But given the attempted assassination of the president and, quote, top Trump administration officials, as the depraved shooter noted in his manifesto.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not...